Hi, I'm Sonnet with Sonnet's Garden Blooms. I want to welcome you all to my channel. Now, in the last two videos, you saw what I found thrifting. That is by far my favorite part of reselling, is going out and finding the items. Now, the next part, I don't like doing that much. It is the pricing. So in today's video, I'm going to show you my pricing strategy, and keep in mind, depending on where you are, it could be very different. But I want to go over that. I'm also going to go over how I prep the items, but my thought process that goes into the whole pricing for your vendor booths, or if you are selling on like a marketplace. So that is what today's video is going to be about. To start pricing, you will need a couple items, and I do recommend this because you want to be found, or maybe not, but I do. So once the customer buys whatever they're purchasing, they know how to reach me in case they need something in the future. For starters, I go through Vistaprint and I have business cards made. It's a very easy process to go out there, design your business card, and then I just punch a hole and attach it to whatever item. On the items that I cannot put a business card on, whether it be like a piece of glass that doesn't have a spot that I could attach that, I then put in a label. So for all of my paints, just so that they know where to reorder my paints, I go ahead and put this label. And I just bought like Avery labels, and you can probably print these off yourself. I actually just went to my local print shop and just asked them, I told them, had the label ready or the whole page all set up, and then they printed it for me. So I wasn't wasting ink for my own printer, and it was done. Things to include on your business card would be your logo if you have one. I started to include my image of, I wanted to put a face with my name, and that is the image that I do use on my YouTube channel. So I thought, oh, how appropriate. So I started to include that. I don't know if it's going to be helpful or not, but at least they'll say, oh, that's who Sonnet is. And my name, my telephone number, my website, where they can order online if they'd like, and that I'm on Facebook, Instagram, and I also have included now my YouTube. So, and my name, Sonnet's Garden Bloom, is the same on all of those, so it's not confusing. On my labels here, I just want to make, I again put down to reorder. That's where you can reorder, or they can give me a call. Those are just some of the items that you should include on your business card. All right, let's go ahead and get started. We are going to start pricing our first few items, and my thought process on this is just this simple. I always look at the piece that I'm buying and I talk to myself and I say, can I get at least 3 times the price that I'm paying? So that is my goal, is I always want to, if I'm reselling something, I want to at least get that price point. And I have watched quite a few different YouTube channels that they are resellers, and they are not making that type of money. They're buying items too high priced, and they're not making enough of a profit. If this is just a hobby for you and you just enjoy doing that, perfect. But my goal is to make money. I want to generate so much time, so much money out of each of my booths. And by doing that, I need to have good price points. I need to buy low and sell at a higher price point. And sometimes I know that, oh my gosh, I'm getting a great deal. I am going to now make 5 times that, on that item, because I know that in the past I've sold it for 5 times that price. And I feel like a lot of people have a guilty conscience, and they don't want to they feel guilty charging their customers that price when they know they can get it because they got it at such a low price. Don't feel guilty. Just do it. And they never will know what you bought it for. Although right now I'm telling everyone what my pricing strategy is, which is fine, but you will never know what I actually paid because like I said, it varies. And, but it is like a general practice is what I'm trying to say. So for instance, I ended up getting, we're going to just talk these jars. I ended up getting these jars, 12 jars for $4. And I am going to then go ahead, I'm going to do some twine on here, and I'm going to put $5 each on here. So that is a lot more than 3 times. But again, I know I can get $5 a jar, not a problem. So that's what I'm going to price these at to give you an idea. And I'm going to just show you a few more items. I found this basket. It's very unique. I've never seen anything like it. I love it that it has the wood, the metal, and at the locations that I sell, they are higher end stores, or I think they are. And there are a lot of vendors that have items too that they've purchased wholesale and resell. So it's both like a reseller where we find or thrift items, people make items, and then there are people that buy and then resell as well through the wholesale. So it is a mixed bag, and I can guarantee that this is a very unique piece. I did only pay $4 for it. I am going to put on here roughly 18. I can definitely get that. I probably could get 21. So just some thought process. Know your audience. Do some market research at the locations that you're actually going to be reselling at. And it varies. It definitely varies. To be honest, I was at a location for several years, and I have all of the items that I handcraft across the board in all my booths. I have my handcrafted items, but then I also have items like this. At all of my other booths, my items would just go out the door. I would sell them. I would be constantly restocking my booth. At this one location, I was not selling barely anything. I was barely making my rent, and I could not figure out why. And then I took a step back and I looked at the location itself, and it was the location. So when you pick your booth location, make sure that it is one where your items are going to sell, and maybe look at how they are marketing their business as well. What I found, and nothing against this location or this business because they were amazing people, but they presented themselves as like a flea market, a thrift store, and a rummage sale. And that is not what I do. I don't do rummage sales. I'm not a rummage sale. I have really nice high class items, and that is how I present it. So right away, when I had to make some hard decisions, I talked to my mom and dad, and they're like, you're a business. You're not there to be, just because you like them, you can't stay there just because you're paying the rent. So my hard decision was I left that location, and I gave it a shot. I was constantly going in there, moving my items, doing stuff. So always know that too, that it may not be how you're pricing them, but the location itself. The next items, I found these, and I know I call them risers, but it's because I'm going to use them as risers. And yes, they can be used as candlesticks as well. These are William Sonoma. I loved the yellow, and I am going to take a couple of these jars. So they will be individually priced. So the $5 for the jar, and they fit just perfect on here. I love the blue with the yellow as well. And then I'm going to be pricing the actual riser or candlestick, whatever you want to call it, separate. And I'm going to put $18 on these, and I can definitely get these $18 for each one. So when I'm also pricing and cleaning my items up, so what I do right away is I give them a good cleaning. I wash them with soap and hot water and let them dry, obviously, and then I price them. Now, when I do price like an item like this, and I talk to you about my business card or my tags that I call my business card. So I just have a puncher, and I punch it, and then I found that this twine, I pick it up at like the Walmart. I just take it, and I love just putting it just right around the top like that. And I always put it to like the back area, just so that the pretty item shows, or the, you know, what is pretty on that item. And then again, like I said, the business card is right there so that they have it for future reference. Now, when I'm pulling items to price, what I like to do is I like to pick items that are going to look good together. And I was getting really excited because, you know, when I'm thrifting and picking, I'm just grabbing stuff that really catches my eye. But then when I get home and I set it all about, if you remember, I found these 3 containers, and they're bowls. So I'm going to set them like kind of like in a like 1, 2, 3. But then I'm like, oh, this yellow is gonna look so great. And then, oh, these blue jars too. So I was getting really excited. I cannot wait to show you, once I get this all priced, how I actually put it into my booth. I also want to show you that I got these. I bought them at the Walmart and I love them. They remind me of spring. Definitely need to add a little bit more spring to my booth. So I plan on taking these and just cutting off several and then placing those as well in the blue ball jars. I love starting that whole creative process when I'm pricing and pulling items together to price. I then start setting them about, and it just starts flowing in my head how I'm going to arrange these items in my booth. So I'm very excited about that and my find. Now, this whole group of flowers that was only $3.47 at the Walmart. I also wanted to make a note too, when I talked about the yellow risers and getting the $18 each for them, keep in mind Williams-Sonoma is very expensive, and if you go out and price their candle holders like this, they are going to cost you a pretty penny. So $18 is not a lot, and they are in mint condition. So something to think about too, when you are pricing an item and there is any markings on the bottom, do some more research to make sure you are pricing it at the price that you should. I also found these candlesticks, and these were, now this would have been $8, and I got it at half price, so I did pay $4 for it. I am not going to do anything to this. And at this point, I'm thinking I could possibly, you know, like even if I would have paid the $8, I could definitely, I think I'm going to price it. I'm going to actually price it at $24 and see if I can get it. And we'll see what we can do for that price point. Honestly, I think these are so cool, and I think they're going to look great on a mantle. I love them. I just love the color, everything. So I'm not changing anything. In a lot of my videos, I do, you know, upcycling and I flip items, but keep in mind, you do not have to flip every item. You do not have to search for items to flip. You can just find items and resell it. But if you do decide to flip your items, make sure that you are taking into account everything that you're putting into flipping the item. I had one gal reach out to me, and it was really nice hearing. I love hearing from all my subscribers or my viewers. And she said that she realized very quickly that she was underpricing her items that she was flipping. And her reasoning was because she got them for such an inexpensive price. But then she wasn't taking into account the time that she was investing in flipping the items that she was actually using on the piece. So I give her a lot of credit that she figured it out on her own. I think that's awesome. But my word of advice is, take a look at what you paid for your item, what you invested in it, you know, whether or not, you know, take into consideration your time. I used paint, my DIY paint. I used an IOD transfer, ink from a stamp. So there was definitely items that I used, but I got these for a smoking deal as well. So I ended up, I'm going to have to go back and watch my video. Honestly, I forgot I had these. So I was pulling stuff together and I'm like, oh my gosh, I think I did this like right before I got really busy for the holidays, and for whatever reason, they just got pushed aside in my studio, and I was out there like gathering stuff that I'm going to put in my booths, and I'm like, these are going to be awesome for spring. Why didn't I have them in here sooner? But it's good. I mean, I'm glad that I found them, and I'm going to get them in there, but I think I bought these as a set. So if I remember correctly, I think they were both $5.99 for both of them. So $3 each, let's say. So I definitely, I think I'm gonna put probably on this one 18 and probably like 15 on here. So, and right now I have, well, $3 invested in each of them for the material, then the transfer and the paint. So yeah, I think that's a pretty good price point. So 18 and 15 is what I'm going to go at for these two items. But I just want to make sure that you guys are pricing your items where you should and take into consideration, you know, your time as well. I hope today's video was helpful for anyone who is reselling or has a small business or who's contemplating starting a small business or a booth. I just tried to think about, like, when I first started my business, what were some things that I would really want to know in regards to pricing. So I hope, again, that was helpful. My channel is all about thrift hauls, thrift flips, really a day in the life of a small business owner. I like to take you guys along and see how I'm setting up my booth, see, you know, when I go on the road for different vendor events, I like to bring you along for that as well. Now, today's video was supposed to be me setting up my booth, but this pricing has taken me a long time. So when I said I don't enjoy this, it's because I love buying, but then I have to sit down and I have to wash everything and I have to price it, and then but in the end, I do enjoy it because then I get my whole like brain, like just everything starts flowing together about how I want to display things. So I dread it. I drag my feet doing it. And there's been a lot because if you can imagine my thrift haul, the last couple, oh my gosh, I got so much stuff. And my husband keeps saying, are you going to price that stuff and get it out of here? Yeah, I am, honey. So if you haven't been to my channel before, like I said, I do a lot of thrift hauls, thrift flips. Go ahead, hit that subscribe button if those are the things that you do enjoy, and turn on your bell notifications so when I do release a video every Monday and Friday, you'll be notified. And let me know today what you learned, or was it helpful? I'd love to hear from you guys. I appreciate you know, you watching, and I'm almost at 10K, yay! So I'm very excited. Thank you, and I couldn't do this without all of you. I appreciate it. You guys have a great weekend, and we will see you Monday. I am going to be restocking this weekend. All right, bye.